Servus and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about a heavy piece of aluminum and steel, the Turbo-Hydramatic 400 or TH400. I already rebuilt two of those, and this puppy right here was the first one. And as you may have seen recently, I pulled the other one out of my Cadillac Seville because he kept marking his territory and this needed to stop. Yeah, it was leaking, it was nasty, it was more than ready for an overhaul. And right after I finished the rebuild, I kept thinking about the TH400 and that awesome work of engineering, and I want to tell you why this transmission is universally regarded as the toughest automatic transmission ever made. It's a General Motors transmission and it powered everything from luxury land yachts to drag cars. Today we're doing a deep dive into the TH400's black magic. Let's find out how it works, where it came from, and what makes it immortal. The TH400 debuted in 1964. GM needed a successor to the original Hydramatic and the Buick Dynaflow, and it needed to be strong enough to handle their new high-torque V8 engines. The initial names were a bit confusing. In Cadillac, it was the Turbo-Hydramatic. In Buick, it was the Super Turbine 400. Yeah, but regardless of the badge, the core unit was the same and the reputation grew instantly. This thing was, and still is, bulletproof. Its durability made it the choice for heavy-duty applications. Performance, Pontiac GTOs and muscle cars, heavy-duty, GM trucks and commercial vehicles, and luxury, it was used by Rolls-Royce, Jaguar and even Ferrari. By the late 80s, GM changed the name one last time to fit a new scheme. And it became the 3L80. The 3 is for speeds, the L is for longitudinal, and the 80 is its high strength rating. So here is the heart of the beast. The TH400 uses a Simpson compound planetary gear set, which is strong, compact and simple. The stock gear ratios are, for the first gear, 2.48 to 1, the second gear is 1.48 to 1, and the third gear, the direct gear, is 1 to 1. But its secret weapon is the overrunning clutch, or sprag clutch. This is the innovation that makes it so legendary. It uses roller clutches for first and second gear reaction, and this means the transmission doesn't have to perform the complex, stressful clutch release and band apply dance during the shifts. The result? Shifts are incredibly fast, smooth and robust, which is why this transmission can handle a conservative 450 foot-pounds of torque stock, and many times that when upgraded. Another key component is the vacuum modulator. This little thing right here. This little diaphragm senses the engine vacuum and, in other words, how hard the engine is working, and tells the internal valve body when to shift for a smooth ride. If you're under a classic GM car, how do you know you're looking at a 400 and not the smaller TH350? There are some differences, and the first one is the oil pan. This is the easiest one. The TH400 pan has a distinctive irregular shape, the famous Texas pan. The TH350 pan is symmetrical with the corner clipped off, just like an SD card. The electrical kickdown. The 400 uses an electrical solenoid connected to the throttle for kickdown. That's the wire you see here. The 350 uses a mechanical cable. The third point is the bell housing. This is a BOPC case. Buick, Olds, Pontiac and Cadillac. The bolt pattern is specific, though there is a unique Chevy pattern case as well. A quick side note on an awesome technical detail. The early 64 to 67 BOC units, Buick Old Cadillac, and sometimes featured the switch pitch torque converter. These converters had vanes that could change angle via an external two-prong plug on the case. It was basically an early manual stall speed control. High stall for acceleration, low stall for cruising. But really rare on later models like my 67 Seville. Even legends fail. The TH400 is not immune to time, heat and abuse. Based on what I've seen in my Seville and what's common for these units, here are the main failure points. Fluid leaks. Age and heat make the pan gasket, front pump seal, where the torque converter sits, and the tail shaft seal turn hard and leak. This is why mine came out a greasy mess. The second point is slipping gears. This is the most common reason for a full rebuild. It's caused by worn clutch packs. The friction material breaks down and the transmission can no longer hold the power. If you smell burnt fluid, the clutches are toast, like mine. Delayed or harsh shifts. This is often a hydraulic issue, a faulty vacuum modulator, or a sticking or dirty governor assembly, which controls shift timing based on speed and completely throw off the shifting rhythm. Heat is the killer. Low or burned fluid causes everything else to fail. That's why many high-performance builds upgrade to a deep pan for more fluid capacity and always add an auxiliary cooler. For my rebuilds, I used a standard master kit to replace all the seals, gaskets, clutches, and bought a new bushing kit and 2 new roller clutches. GM built the TH400 to last. Almost forever. But all in all, it's a tank of drivetrain component. And with a good rebuild, this one will be ready for another 50 years in my Cadillac. If you want to see me struggle, just click here or follow the link in the description and I will show you how to get it out of a Cadillac Seville, disassemble and rebuild the TH400 to see what parts actually failed and how to put it back into the car. So if you love automotive history and deep dive restorations, hit that subscribe button. What's the best, toughest or most reliable transmission you've ever rebuilt or owned? And what topics would you like to see on my channel? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, drive safe, take care and stay passionate about the ride. See you in the next one.